So the last shlok we did before we took a break for the year ending was shlok number 23. And in that, Bhagwan describes how a jnani would do action. You know, he would do all his actions, because even a jnani has to do action. He cannot be without any action. But he will do his actions without attachment to sansar. He performs all his work. How? In Yagna Bhav. Exactly. What is Yagna Bhav? For the welfare of others. Every action of his is like a worship. Every word of his is like a mantra. So taking this concept of how every action can be a worship, a puja, every word can be a prayer, Shlok 24, which we will start with today, takes this idea further and describes it with the imagery of a Havan Kund. And it's very interesting. We will go to that shortly. You know, in a Havan Kund, you have fire, a ceremonial fire. You light the fire and then you pour oblations into it. Now, this fire has been used in all the shlokas to describe all the different sadhanas. Today, you're going to learn 9 sadhanas. It's an extremely practical class today. No gyan, no great knowledge, just different sadhanas that all seekers have to do in order to purify their antakaran. So this symbolism of fire has been used. And why fire? Oh, I should have kept one matchbox here. See, if you light a fire, however you hold the candle or the matchbox, the flames always go upwards. Notice it next time you light a candle or light a matchbox. Even if you hold the match upside down, the flame will come up. Even if you hold the candle like this, the flame will come up. So in a yagna, when you light a fire, all the actions which are done in the spirit of yagna inspire uplifting sentiments. That is why Bhagwan has taken this symbolism of fire for the next few shlokas. Then fire burns. Whatever you offer in it, it will burn, right? No matter what you put, it burns. So the action of yagna also burns whatever you put into it, all your negative tendencies, all your avguns, all your habits which you want to get rid of. You put that into the fire of yagna and it will eventually burn. Then another symbolism of fire is, of course, it gives light. So the action of yagna takes us slowly, gradually towards the light of knowledge and therefore eventually towards enlightenment. And finally, you'll see there may be a raging fire, big flames, and suddenly disappear. After a point, there is no more flame. It goes up to a point and then the flames simply dissolve, just simply disappear. In the same way, when we do all our actions in the bhava of yagna, in yagna bhava, all the ego, the ahankar which we have gets burnt up, and then one fine moment, it's dissolved, it's gone, it's over, and you reach that final stage of union with the Supreme. So these are the reasons why in the next few shlokas, again and again, Bhagwan will talk about, you know, putting oblations into the fire. And this is the reason why fire has been used as the imagery. Now, lots of sadhanas are going to come to you, but let me tell you, you don't have to do each and every one of them. You see what you require, what appeals to you, what you feel like doing, and then you think you can do this, then you take that sadhana up and see how it works for you. The best thing about this journey is about experimenting with all the information that is being given. till you actually experiment with it, till you actually implement it in your life, it remains information. It is data. It is just another thing you have hoarded in a book, right? Only when you start using it, when you start implementing it, then you put it into your own life, then it becomes knowledge. And when that knowledge becomes nishtha, then it becomes your own wisdom. So these are the three stages. One is information, then knowledge, and then wisdom. So our journey is, of course, to make this knowledge, which we are getting today, into our own wisdom. So having said all this, let's go to the very first shloka, number 24, and I will again chant it. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Let me translate it. In the practice of seeing Brahma everywhere as a form of sacrifice, Brahma is the ladle with which oblation is poured into the fire. Brahma again is the oblation. Brahma is the fire. Brahma itself is the sacrificer. And so Brahma itself constitutes the act of pouring the oblation into the fire. And finally, Brahma is the goal to be reached by him who is absorbed in Brahma as the act of such sacrifice. Very, very beautiful shloka. It is chanted very often in, almost always in ashrams before we take food. And it's iconic actually. But let me give you the meanings of the words first. Brahm arpanam. The ladle, you know the ladle, the spoon, the wooden spoon with which you put the ahuti in the kund. So that ladle is Brahma. The ladle is Brahma. Brahm arpanam means the ladle is Brahma. Brahma havi, the oblation is Brahma. Oblation means the ahuti, the grains, whatever you're putting in. Brahmagnau, the fire is also Brahma. Hutam, one word is there, means is offered. Means all this which is offered is Brahma. Hutam is offered. Brahmana, the one who is giving the oblation is also Brahma. Means the one who is doing the puja. And the action of giving it is also Brahma. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. So you are doing a Havan. For what? Some purpose, some goal is there, some phal you want, some fruit of it. That fruit, that result, that is also Brahma. Brahma karma samadhina. Who is completely absorbed in Brahma while doing all this. You are completely everything. Whatever is happening is absorbed in Brahma. All right, let's understand it. It's very nice. So the word here used is Yagna. We are doing a Yagna. Normally, we understand the word Yagna by some, in books that's given as sacrifice. It's always translated as sacrifice because you see the practice of seeing Brahma everywhere as a form of sacrifice. Now, why do you think they have used the word sacrifice? Because Yagna is an action where something is sacrificed. Whatever it may be many different things, and we will see what all those things will be in the next few verses. If you sacrifice anything for a higher goal, then that action is called Yagna. Generally, we understand Yagna by some ceremony, some rite, some puja, where we light a fire, and there's always a reason for doing the Yagna. Maybe you want to get a place in heaven after death. Maybe you want to get a house. Maybe you want to get a child. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you want happiness. Maybe you want money. So in all these things, there are different devatas that take care of all these different aspects in our life. And you do a yagna, you do a havan, and you invoke those devatas, and they help you to get that object of your desire. Or second way of using the word yagna is to do any action, not a ceremony, not a rite, not a ritual, not a havan, anything, studying, working in your office, working in your home, cooking, looking after your children, whatever you may be doing, but you do that action in karma yog bhav. Means what? No karta bhav, no bhokta bhav, etc. We have done all this in chapter 3. Then there's a third way of looking at yagna. And this interpretation, which is actually what is given in this particular shloka, is the mental attitude of a realized master of how he sees every action which is performed in the world. So when a realized jnani sees any action, or he himself is doing any action, it is always performed as a yagna, meaning everything is Brahma. There is no duality. The person doing the action is also Brahma. The person to whom the action is being done is also Brahma. There is nothing but Brahma. There is no duality. Every single thing is simply a manifestation of that supreme reality. The realized person sees godliness in everyone and in every single thing. Not only that, he doesn't believe that God exists everywhere. His belief is that whatever exists is God. There's a difference. Whatever exists is God. Now we have heard this hundreds of times in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, especially in Chandogya Upanishad. There is a beautiful sentence, and everybody knows this. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma means all this, whatever you can see, whatever you can perceive, whatever you can imagine, whatever is there, everything is Brahma. Everything comes from Brahma, everything goes back to Brahma, and everything is sustained by Brahma. So this is a axiom. This is a please excuse me. I'm just recovering from a bad throat. So to explain this truth, now in this shloka, Bhagwan is using the imagery of the Havan. So Havan means every action. So in a Havan, there is a ladle. So this ladle which is being used is Brahm Arpanam. The ghee, the grains that are being used, that is also the oblation, that is also Brahma Havi. The fire of the Havan, that is also Brahm Agno. And the result that you get from the action, that is also Brahma. So in the same way, keeping this Havan in mind, now see, you do any action. Suppose you want to write something. So you're going to use your hand as an instrument, right? You're going to use your mind. You're going to use your intellect. You might use your sense organs. You might use your organs of action. You might use your intellect to do some work. These are all instruments. These are Brahm Arpanam. These are all Brahma itself. That is how a jnani doesn't have karta bhav, doesn't feel that I am doing, because all this being done by my hand, by my body, by my mind, by my intellect, by my everything is Brahma only. then you might use some material, like you might use a pencil, you might use a spoon, you might use a broom, you might use a computer, you might use anything. All this material that we offer into the action, that also the Jnani sees all that also as Brahma. Then what is the goal for doing all this? Most of us have some goals of earning money or looking good or losing weight or getting something, some goals we have. But for the Jnani, all the action that the Jnani does, what is that goal? That goal is also Brahma only. So when one performs actions, all actions, with this vision that everything is Brahma, we call that Brahma Drishti. We need to work towards what is this entire spiritual journey we are on, to convert our Drishti, our vision, our understanding into Brahma Drishti, vision of Brahma. And when you have such a vision, all your actions will become non-actions, because there is no ahankar, there is no doer of the action. Now, this shloka is also chanted, as I mentioned, before sannyasis eat their food. And why is it so? Because when you eat, you are also putting something into the fire, right? This is like a body is considered to be the kund, and the digestive fire is inside. This is your ladle. You are using the ladle to take the food. The food has become your ahuti. The food has become your oblation, like the ghee and the grains we put in the Havan. And you are putting it in the mouth, and it is going in the stomach. Then what is happening? What are you getting from that? What you're getting from that is nutrition, you're getting strength, you're maybe getting some taste satisfaction. All these things that you are getting, that is your result. For a Jnani, that is also Brahma. So if you remember, those of us who have studied the Gita earlier, in Adhyay 15, Bhagwan tells Arjun that I am the digestive fire in your stomach. And so that also, the one who is eating is also Brahma. The hand is also Brahma. The oblation with your food you're eating, that is also Brahma. The fire in your stomach, that is also Brahma. And the effect of this entire eating yagna, that result, that is also Brahma. Satisfaction of our hunger, that is also Brahma. So this is, of course, how the Brahma Drishti comes, from which now Bhagwan will give 5-6 shlokas where different yagnas will be described, suggested. For what? For the purification of our antakaran. As I said, don't think you have to do each and every one. The one you think you require, the one that burns the thing that you need to burn in your own antakaran, you can take those as the sadhana, which you will do in the next fortnight. So let's go to the first shloka, number 25, and go to see what is the sadhana that Bhagwan is recommending. And I'm telling you, these shlokas, which we are going to do today, are extremely practical. He's giving you the technique. Guys, this is the technique. Okay, it's not just some knowledge. It's actually what you have to do to reach your supreme goal. So let's go to 25.